Hi there. So today I'm gonna come out here. It's early in the morning before work and I am just gonna do a little bit of a mid-September garden tour. We probably won't go around to everything, but I at least want to show you some of the things that are still blooming, some of the things that are still looking good, and some of the things that are just, you know, telling us that it's time. It's time to move into the next season. One of those things being the weather. It's been significantly cooler the last several days, like the last couple weeks actually, and so it's just time to come to grips with the next season that is upon us. So I wanted to do this morning because later today our church is putting on a 2-day women's conference and they asked me to lead the worship for it, so I have to get my work done today and then head off to that, so I won't really have any time to make a movie for you guys. So I thought, let's just do a quick tour. And by quick, I mean it's probably going to be like 45 minutes, but that's fine. You can pause and skip or fast forward or whatever you need to do. But all right, let's go. I really wanted to show this Tradescantia, and it's so, every time I try to show it to you guys, it just doesn't do justice, but it's a really pretty purple color and it's gonna look awesome at Halloween time. I'm just really excited about it, and I planted that this spring and I'll have it all throughout the summer. I don't fertilize it, I don't cut it, and I won't have to replace it and buy more plants, so it's kind of why I love that. I also have this window right here, and I kind of stand at the top of our stairs right there and look out this window, and the view is really pretty with like the purple, the blue house, and then my grass and little limes, my boxwoods. Like, it's just a really fun view to see all these colors going on, and you can't really tell on the movie, but anyway. And then this is my favorite time of year for these. These are Hamlin fountain grasses, and I don't even know if I ever say that right because the spelling on it is weird. They just have these really fuzzy, kind of plumy blooms on them, and they're beautiful. They've been in here for, well, I don't know, about 7 years. I planted them ages ago. These are little lime hydrangea, and they're starting to turn pink. So I could come in here and cut some of these off and dry them. I don't need any more dried hydrangeas because I have several already, but you never know. Could give them away for a present or something, but they're just really beautiful. My boxwoods are looking really good. I trimmed them up, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago. Some of them still have some dead stuff in there that just never got brushed off, but they're looking really good. So I'm liking the looks of them. Really glad that I pruned them up. These are green velvet boxwood. They're my favorite boxwood. This is everyone always asks me about this tree. This is a blue shag white pine, and it's a beautiful little tree. I got it for, gosh, I don't know, 50% off at Horrocks one season, and it wasn't planted in here originally. I left this space open. There's a plane. We'll keep going. I left this space open because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with it, so it took me a minute to find that tree, but when I seen it, I was like, that's it, that's the one. These are just big begonias. They're the red flower with the bronze leaf, and you guys, this is the reason why I plant begonias. They have looked this gorgeous all season long. It's just a saturated orange. It's a saturated red color. I plant them, I leave them, I hardly water them. They do get watered by my overhead sprinklers that water the grass. But I water them when I put them in, and that's about it. They are just my favorite begonia ever, and honestly probably one of my favorite annuals. They've got a really pretty yellow center in there, and so these leaves right here, they start out more of a bronzy color, and then as they age and as they get sunlight, they almost turn red. And that's why I love these so much. So you can see, look at that, the whole stem is red as the bloom. it's just a beautiful plant, so it provides that much more color. And look, it's still going. It's still setting on more buds. Behind it, I put blue salvia, which is another one of my favorite annuals. I love the red, white, and blue theme, just to throw a little American pride in there. And with the white rocks, that would be my white for the red, white, and blue. Same thing over here, just this beautiful chunk of big begonias, red with the bronze leaf. These bloom all throughout like September, October. Last year in November they were still going. And then in here I planted some white euphorbia, and this is the euphoric white. It's not a proven winner brand or anything. I usually plant proven winner, but the gal, my friend Liz at the garden center, said these do just as good and they're cheaper, so I ended up buying those this year and I love them. And this is my blue, my red, white, and blue. This is a globe blue spruce tree, and it gets bigger every year. I can noticeably see the size difference in that thing every year. Back in here, these are just beautiful roses, and they bloom consistently all season long. So pretty. These are Paint the Town Magenta, I think, Easy Elegans rose. So pretty. I've got 3 of them in there. And then these are another fountain grass. These are Piglet fountain grass, so they're the same as that fountain grass over there. They're just a little bit smaller. But this is looking pretty good in here. Everybody asks me what this tree is. This is a dappled willow tree. Yeah, I'll get close and show you why I like it so much. Love that variegation. And then I just have a bunch of different heuchera under here with some hosta. And then Annabelle hydrangea back there. Alright, let's walk down here. Maybe we'll just do this side of the house today. These are Ben Vernoy hosta. A beautiful hosta. Down here, I love this, how my Annabelle's cascade over the retaining wall here. Through my years of gardening here in our house, I have come to love the drooping effect of the Annabelles. They catch a really bad rap because of this reason right here, but if you've got them in the right spot, it can really be a really cool drooping effect over a retaining wall or something else that you have in your yard. These are some Astobi. These are just 3 plants that I planted years ago. So there's 1, 2, 3, and it's Visions in pink, and I left the blooms on there because I thought they looked really pretty, and I used some last year. I spray painted them for a project in the fall time, so might do that again. These are just some pink impatiens here, the beacon impatient with some hosta. These 2 weigela right here are the wine and roses weigela, and I wanted to show you guys what happens if you prune it back early enough. So you can see right here, I came in here and pruned it this spring right there, so I cut that off, and it threw out these 2 new shoots, and they're gonna bloom. You see that? If I would have done it a little bit earlier, I would have had a lot more blooms like that. So here's another example of that. Here's a better view right here, so you can see I cut it off this spring right there, pruned it back after it was done blooming, and now it's throwing on these 2 shoots. And it's doing that a few different places, but I think I waited like 2 weeks too long, and it probably would have thrown on a nicer bloom. And I never expect it to throw on a bloom. It's just like what it does. I love the foliage just like that. This is a Francis William hosta, one of my favorites. We've got another Annabelle there that I kind of hacked at this year and transplanted some bits of it. I'm not gonna go over here because there is a spider. That black thing right there is a giant spider. So we will just stop right here. Looking really good for the middle of September and all the cool weather that we've been having. If you've been watching any of my recent movies, you will have already seen all this in here. I've been working on cleaning out this area. Actually, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this. I think I have a long time ago. But when we built our house, the builders, they only cleared out the trees that were, hold on, there we go. That was bright. They only cleared out the trees that were from this tree up. So basically from this nice big tree right here back, that was all woods. And my brother Karsten and my husband and I, we came in here years ago and cleaned all this out from here to, well, where this grass is basically, okay? And all this we grew grass right there. We eventually came in and I made this my like dump bed. I planted some stuff in the front and then used the back for my dump bed. Another year we came in here, added this shed, and then the next year we added that shed. We put all this stone in, and so that's been kind of a process. So for the past couple years, I have been cleaning out more. Well, me and my husband, and I think my brother helped me as well. But I've been cleaning out more woods, so from the grass over, and this has been kind of the result. So I started this spring, my brother and I, cleaning up over here, and I'll flip it around and show you. And I haven't been back here in a while, so it's probably a mess, but we put these steps in, and I planted some ajuga, and then I found some moss from the woods, which I gotta kind of clean up a little bit. The animals move it around, but it's starting to root in a little bit better. So anyway, we cleaned up around here. My brother built us this beautiful retaining wall. We've been cleaning out the woods. It used to look like that, all woods. And we came in here and cleaned this out and laid free wood chips on it. And I gotta come in here and get these weeds that are popping up, but it's doing pretty good. We cleaned all this out. Where you see wood chips, this all used to look like woods. And so anyway, that's kind of the backstory on this area. But in here, I just have a bunch of different hosta. We've got a Dream Queen, some Woo La La, Francis William, some Everglow? Yeah, Everglow Carex. And then over here, this is what I recently just put in. Everything except these hosta around here. So these hosta around the tree I put in 2 years ago, and they are drinking gourd. And then just recently I put all the rest of these plants around here. So I've got some heuchera in here, some Hakana Chloa, some Brunnera, the Carex, and the frozen margarita. I did see the other day the woodchuck was coming around here, sniffing around this wood, but I don't have any deer damage out here yet. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, I've never really had any deer damage anyway in my yard, so all these have been in here for a couple of years now, and the deer have never touched them. But these are kind of just holding places for these plants. Eventually going to move all these plants to a different area and rework this area as well. But that's kind of the story on this. So it's a work in progress. It's not completely done yet. The chipmunks are going crazy. The chipmunks right now are going crazy. Do you hear that squeak? All day, every day. So it's like prime time nut collecting season for the chipmunks in my yard. We've got lots of walnut trees and like acorns up in the trees, and what they do is they climb up, the squirrels too. We got red squirrels and regular bushy tail squirrels and chipmunks. I can see one right there, he's like staring me down. But they climb up the tree, they shake the limbs, the nuts fall, they collect them, and then they take them to their to their spot. I mean, I can see all these that they've already collected. So they're probably mad at me because they need to come collect the rest. But this is what they do all day. Squeak. Anyway, we'll go through the gully here, and it's looking pretty good for mid-September. This is a Wulala hosta, giant leaves. And the chipmunks, you guys. Here is one of the signs that it is fall. The hosta leaves start to turn yellow and then eventually brown up and die up. And I noticed this happening a lot with these wrinkle in times. It will then start happening to my stained glass hosta. Those ones do it pretty quick too. You can see it's already happening. They're starting to yellow up for the season, and you know, just this colder weather is telling the plants that it's time to get ready to go into dormancy. But we've got a really pretty combination here. This is a wide brim hosta, stained glass hosta, and looking glass Brennera. And looking pretty good up here. My begonias are still holding on. And the sedum is blooming. It looks beautiful. However, I did not get in here and pinch it back this year. I usually pinch it back and it creates more smaller blooms. And then it's not as hard to hold up these heavy blooms here. But it's holding its own, and the plants around them are helping hold it up, literally. So that's kind of what you see going on here. The hosta around it are helping hold up the sedum, and it doesn't look terrible, but it would look a lot better if I had gotten in here and pinched it back. But this is looking really great here. Raccoon Alley, lots of great color. These are red beacon impatiens, and then autumn frost hosta. This area is looking all right. So I have three different hosta in here, and they've always kind of drove me nuts, but as the season kind of comes on, I just leave them. But this next year, I think I'm going to come in here and take these out and put 3 of the same hosta in here. I might even put the Diana Remembered. It's a hosta I just found, and just put all 3 of them in here because I really want this to be all 3 the same. And then I'm going to move these to a different spot. But this area is looking pretty good. All of these impatiens reseeded themselves around there, so that's pretty cool. This I just jam-packed full of impatiens because I don't really walk in there. I usually don't like that kind of a look. I like to see space around my plants, but I don't ever really go in there to do anything. So I just kind of decked it out with a sea of impatiens, and that is going to be something I do on purpose. Up there, I want to make a living river of impatiens up there. So I'll probably start on that this fall, and I'll bring you guys along with me. Got some more impatiens around here. I haven't cut these blooms off yet, just because some of them are still pretty purple. But pretty soon I'll have to cut these off the Captain Kirk. And then this is the look from right here. These hosta right here, these are the Paul's Glory. I don't know. I don't like the looks of them. They kind of take on different colors. The leaves go into these different color modes, and I don't like them. So this year I'm going to dig them up, and I probably will just give them away, and somebody else can have them. but I'll want to put something else here too. And that's the thing about gardening. Like, sometimes you buy something and you know you don't like it, but you just keep it because maybe you're too scared to pull it out, or you feel bad because you spent money on it. Whatever the reason may be, I mean, it's just a plant and it's your garden. It's not worth looking at it all the time and being like, ugh, I wish something else was there. Just dig it up and put something else there. It's really not that big of a deal. If you feel bad because you spent money on it, pass it off to a friend, give it to somebody else. Just because you dig it up doesn't mean you have to throw it out. It could go to another house that really could appreciate it and really love it. I used to have a few daylilies in my yard, and I never really liked daylilies. And so, I don't know, a couple years ago I dug them up, put them at the end of the street, and within like an hour somebody came up and picked them up, and they were so excited to add more daylilies to their collection. So instead of just keeping it in your garden, knowing you don't like it, maybe you could pass it off to somebody else who could really love it and appreciate it more, and then you could plant something else that you're gonna love. But anyway, I'm learning this in my garden because it is hard to do that. You know, a lot easier said than done, but the more you do it, the more you're like, oh man, I should have done that 2 years ago. So you kind of boost your confidence up a little bit the more that you do that. So anyway, back to the tour. I wanted to show you from this side. These ferns are really coming in and looking great, and I'm hoping that they don't completely cover up the Georgia peach heuchera in there. I feel like eventually they will. The same type thing is happening to my Primo Black Pearl in there. You can hardly see it. So we might have to rework this area and just give each plant a little bit more room, but we'll leave it for now. All these hosta in here have been like a holding ground, and so I want to rework this area somehow in here. Pretty much from here over, I like how it looks, but this just looks like a hodgepodge to me, so I want to make it make sense in there eventually. I just haven't really had the time or ideas to do it. This is chipmunk crossing in here. The chipmunks, they shake the trees, gather all their nuts, they go over to the edge here, they run across my little logs, they cross right here under that sign, and then they go across here, and then they've got tunnels all in here where they hide their nuts, and then they do the same thing over and over again. There's a hole in the, here, I'll show you. There's an actual hole in the ground over here where they come up. Where is it? Right there. They're nuts for nuts. And they do the whole circle again. Shake the tree, grab the nuts, cross over, drop them off, come out the hole. And that's what they do every day, all day. While they squeak at me. Okay, so let's go back in here. Well, it's looking great. I'm loving these carex right here. This is the Ever Gold, I think. And this one, I could be mixing that up with the other one, but this is the Zone 6 I found out, so I'm surprised these ones came back. I've had a lot of trouble with these every year, and this year they came back really good. We just got a bunch of color in here. There are no annuals in here. This is all perennial color. The only annual color you see now is that little chunk of pink impatient. There are no annual colors in here until you get here with the pink impatient. So we'll come up in here and I'll show you my Cian. I'll show you my neon sedum. This is my favorite sedum. I love how short and stubby it is, and I love the color of this. It also has kind of a more bluer foliage to it, but it's my favorite. It's called Neon. And I've got 3 of them in here, but so I've tried to grow several things in this spot, and I don't know what it is. We did have a tree there that we cut down, so I don't remember what kind of tree it was. It was here when we bought the property. It was just, one of these types of trees. But I've never been able to grow stuff in here very well. So that could be why. Now, these sedum right here were nipped back by the bunny 2 times. So that's why those aren't growing. But that wee white hydrangea isn't doing the greatest. The ones on either side of it are doing great. But this looks really pretty. I'm loving all the colors. I love the pink, orange, purple or black, whatever you want to call that, green, lime. So I got to get Nate to move that rock for me. I'm going to move it up into my new garden bed up there. But this is the area I want to make into a living river. Nate and we go to Mackinac Island every year, sometimes twice a year, just because we love it so much. But this year they had, well, every year, they had this living river of like, I don't know for sure, but it looked to me like New Guinea, either New Guinean patience or sun patience, with just some other beautifully colored annuals. But it's just beautiful, and I would like to do that right here. So I want it to go right here and then put a bridge that goes like that over the living river. So basically you'd walk through my arbor, and instead of going that way, the river would go straight on. So the river of, I'll probably do Beacon Impatiens, like those impatiens there, and go straight through, and then the bridge will be going across there. And then maybe I'll have some stepping stones into a path and then rework that area. So I want to start working on that this fall. We'll see how far I get. Here is another hole that the chipmunks made to collect nuts. So that's just what they do. Oh look, my little anemone is blooming. That's pretty. I planted this here years ago, hoping it would kind of take over this area, and it just hasn't. I've seen where they spread like crazy in other people's gardens, and they just don't really do that here, so maybe it just doesn't like this spot. My annuals are finally starting to not look the greatest. These impatiens are just tried and true though. I love these, but these blue salvia are just not doing the best anymore. However, I have really good luck with blue salvia wintering over, so I'm hoping next year they'll come back bigger and better like they did these blue salvia over here. I left these blue salvia, I didn't clean them up, and these were planted last year, and they came back so beautiful this year, like a little hedge of them, and I love them so much. Just this little patch right here was from last year. Look how beautiful and blue that is. So I'm hoping that will happen with all these blue salvia I planted along there, and then all those blue salvia I planted in there and over there. We will see. My Holy Grail hibiscus are still going strong. So pretty. The sun is starting to pop up. Maybe I'll just take you down the lane real quick, and then oh, there's a hummingbird, dang it. He was about to get some nectar from these cleome. Now these are cleome plants. I planted these several years ago, and they reseed themselves every year. They're so pretty. My snapdragons are still blooming. Some of them don't look the greatest, but some look good. This is the same situation with these blue salvia. I know it's hard to see because the sun's popping up, but these were all planted last year, and they came back for me. Got a nice patch of lamb's ear in here. Coming up here into the lane, it is looking really pretty. I love these mahogany monster or on this little hinoki cypress. Look at that, it's so pretty, I love it. And these are the quick fire fab. I love them. Got a nice line of ladies mantle there. I do have some wildberry heuchera in there, but it looked like complete trash when I put it there, so it's kind of struggling, but hopefully it'll bounce back. This is a spun silk, I think. Daisy. Amazing daisy. I've got a quince right there that my aunt sent me. This is a Shenandoah grass. And then my sugar time crabapple looks so pretty right now. I love it. Got 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. Just got some coneflower in here with a little hydrangea and then some Bright Ideas sedum. This penstemon is blooming again. This is the Midnight Masquerade. Just some juniper, some more coneflower, and these are salvia. And I can't remember what this is called. I'll have to throw the name on the screen, but I thought it was so cute. Another Shenandoah grass and another quince. This is a Artemisia. This is a lamb's ear. I kept the tag in there so I could remember. Some more Bright Ideas, another penstemon, and then this is another quick fire fab. Isn't that so pretty? This color, this pink color, reminds me of when you get like an ice cream cone. I think it's called Burst, like a strawberry burst or whatever, and they put a burst of strawberry all around it. That's kind of what it reminds me of, like a strawberry burst ice cream cone. These bleeding hearts are sun bleeding hearts. I had another one, but it kind of gave way to the flooding that we had going on in here. So we'll see how these two do, if they come back good this next summer. And if they do, then I'll buy another one, but I'm not going to buy another one just yet. We'll give it some time. Got this another grass in here, the Shenandoah. So pretty. And then just some perennials here. Here's another crabapple. And then we've got a ruby hydrangea here, that Invincible series. They start out this tiny little, almost a mauvey, dark mauvey clump, and then they get bigger and it turns more light pink. Another coneflower, some caramel heuchera, and then a glow blue spruce there with a daisy may and a little flax and a hibiscus. It's looking really pretty. And these are all first year plantings, actually within the last, I don't know, month or so. So they'll get bigger as the years go on. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, for walking around the gully and the left side of my house over here. Maybe next time we'll go out into the island, the mailbox, and then the right side of the house, and then I'll show you my pots around our pool, which we're probably going to be closing up our pool this weekend if I have time, which I don't think I'll have time because I have to do the women's conference tonight, all day Saturday, and then I have church in the morning on Sunday, and then also I have to do youth group at night on Sunday, so we might have to do it during the week. But anyway, we'll be closing up our pool. I'll be kind of rearranging my pots for the fall. I might bring some of them up to my front porch, which I usually do. I'll bring you guys along when we do that, but we'll say goodbye for now. Hope that you just have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time, hopefully. Bye.